I help you with something, Miss Pond?
Yes, okay, I've got it. See, I finally got proof that the doctor's real. They found a healthy man living with 2 hearts, see? Just like the doctor does.
And did he lead them to his ship or change his face in front of them?
Well, no.
Ah.
But that doesn't mean he's not real.
Brittney, just because there's one medical anomaly walking around with 2 working hearts does not mean that your silly science fiction show is reality.
Well, why not?
It's simply not enough proof.
Then how much do I need? Look, Professor, I've been coming in here for years, and you've never given me a satisfying answer. Why can't Doctor Who be real?
It's impossible.
Nothing's impossible. Merely improbable.
Fine, I'll tell you what you want to know, but then you have to leave.
All right, let's start with the doctor.
All right, tell me about this doctor.
He's an alien, a Time Lord, one of the most powerful races in the universe. They've got 2 hearts and these amazing, massive minds. They're masters of time and space travel. Probably the coolest thing about Time Lords is their ability to regenerate, which is why the show's been on for so long. Whenever a Time Lord is about to die, if their death is slow enough, their cells all begin to recreate themselves. They create a completely new, healthy body, and the mind carries on. Same man, different face. The Doctor's currently on his 11th regeneration. Right now, he's Matt Smith, but he's also been David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston.
Okay, enough. I don't need to hear all of that.
Right. Sorry.
The biology of Time Lords is highly improbable. Admittedly, the bicardiovascular system may have some benefits, which vary depending on how the system is organized. If the 2 hearts are in one system, coordination would be difficult, but a lower amount of force would be required to pump blood through the body, and so less stress is placed on the blood vessels. Alternatively, the doctor's blood circulation could be divided into 2 systems, one for the muscles, and the other for internal organs in the brain. The benefit of this is that his brain would receive more blood during exercise than it would with just 1 heart. All in all, a bicardiovascular system is entirely possible. Actually, there's this one type of parasite that looks just like an eel. It's called a hagfish, and it has 5 hearts.
See, I knew the doctor was real.
Wait a minute, I'm not done yet. The ability of the doctor to regenerate. That's highly improbable. In fact, I'd go so far as to say impossible. Yes, it's true some organisms possess the ability to regenerate body parts, like the freshwater hydra. It's called morphollaxis. But the process takes 3 to 4 days, and after regeneration, the creature is smaller. And a freshwater hydra is a much simpler organism than a human. You see, the hydra is able to regenerate because its cells can morph into another type of cell. But the human cells are much more differentiated than a hydra's, so it would be much harder for the doctor to regenerate. The main issue, though, is the rapid time in which the doctor regenerates, and the fact that he retains all his memories and mental abilities. It'd be impossible for all the connections between the neurons in the brain needed to make memories to regenerate. So the doctor is not real.
Well, I guess the doctor's biology is just too complex for you to understand. What about the Slovene?
And what are the Slovene?
Well, the Slovene aren't exactly a race. It's a family name. They're Raxacoricophalopatorians.
Pardon?
They're a family from Raxacoricophalopatorius.
Don't.
Just don't.
The Slovene aren't the most popular aliens on Doctor Who, but they're certainly some of the coolest. In their natural form, they're these huge, green, grotesque monsters. They've got big black eyes, sharp teeth, and long talons. When they were on Earth, they used some pretty advanced technology to squeeze themselves smaller so that they could fit into the meat suits of important British government officials. It took a lot of energy, so they were constantly releasing calcium gas, because they're calcium-based. Oh, and the only way to kill them is to throw vinegar on them. Then they explode.
What?
There are so many things wrong with what you just said. Well, let's just focus on the obvious. Calcium-based life. It's just not going to happen. Calcium can't form chemical bonds conducive to complex life. Life here on Earth is carbon-based. This works very well since carbon is tetravalent, meaning it has 4 electrons available for covalent bonding. When carbon binds with another element, its free electrons are shared between them, forming a strong bond. And since its 4 available electrons are spread out, it's capable of bonding with different elements or groups of elements. This makes carbon better able to build the huge variety of organic molecules that are necessary for life. But calcium typically isn't part of organic molecules. This is because calcium is bivalent. It only has 2 electrons available for bonding, so the molecules it forms are linear. Besides that, it forms ionic bonds, where the electrons are transferred from one element to the other and not shared between them. These bonds aren't as structurally sound. The Slovene, therefore, are impossible.
Fine. One more.
And what's that?
The worst of all the Doctor's enemies. The deadliest of all aliens. The most ruthless, intelligent, and cruel race in the universe. The Daleks.
You mean those robots with the plunger?
They are not robots, they are deadly, fearsome aliens!
Okay, because all I'm seeing is a robot with a plunger and a whisk.
That's just the armor. Without its suit, the Dalek is almost completely useless. Their weak form leaves them completely dependent on the machine, which is equipped with a death laser and another limb that varies from claws to plungers to flamethrowers. Their armor may be impressive, but it's the repulsive creature on the inside that counts. The Daleks are descendants of the Khaled race. Khaled looked identical to humans with only slight biological differences. Instead of the red, hemoglobin-rich blood of humans, the Khaleds had a deep green copper-based blood. After years and years of war, the Khaleds began to mutate. One of them, Davros, rose above the rest to control this mutation, and with years of experiments in selective breeding, he created the ruthless Daleks, single-minded in that they had one belief. Daleks are the master race, and all other life must be exterminated.
Exterminate! Okay then. There's a couple things we need to look at here. First, the Khaleds and their copper-based blood. Instead of using iron-based hemoglobin to transport blood, the Khaleds would have copper-based hemocyanin, which is found in cephalopods or mollusks. Though hemocyanin is good at storing oxygen, it doesn't distribute it as efficiently. Thus, cephalopods have lower endurance than organisms with hemoglobin. However, because hemocyanin bonds more strongly with oxygen, it's more effective in low-oxygen environments. So yes, Khaleds themselves seem possible. Another issue is whether they could have been genetically altered. We currently have the technology to do this by using restriction and recombinant enzymes to insert DNA into specific points. After the genetic modifications, the Daleks are basically just cyborgs, or beings with a mix of organic and electromechanical parts. In order to make a cyborg, all you need to do is make a computer that responds to the impulses of the nervous system, which functions by electrical impulses which are produced in the brain. There's actually evidence that this would work. In 2002, Kevin Warwick implanted a silicone chip in his wrist and interfaced with a computer using his central nervous system. So yeah, I'd say the Daleks are plausible.
The Daleks are real?
No, they're possible.
The Dalek. They're gonna kill me, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, the Dalek are real.
Brittney, the Daleks are not.
It's okay, I can survive. All I have to do is find some stairs.